Hey, Brian here. And you're probably wondering why this video is not about recruiting or networking like I promised in the second video. And that's because in light of everything that's going on, I just didn't feel comfortable releasing a video that focused on recruiting when there are so many more things that matter right now. And in any way I can, I just wanted to say, this channel really is tiny and it probably won't mean that much to say this, but it needs to be said. Black Lives Matter. And before I take any more space from the activists, from the protesters, from those whose voice have been consistently silenced and denied for not just years, but centuries, before I take that oxygen, before I take that space, in any way I can, I just want to let, you, my viewer, know that I'm not speaking on behalf of Black people. I'm not even speaking on behalf of Asian people and other people of color. These words are my own and that of which this channel stands for. This channel seeks to challenge and disrupt the status quo of higher education and recruiting. A status quo that disproportionately produces unfair and unequal outcomes for people of color and low-income students, especially our Black brothers and sisters. This channel's purpose is to help make recruiting fair, just, and equal for all, not just the students already at the top. I am committed to using my platform to providing counsel, advice, knowledge, experience, and support for any and all students, especially those who already face an uphill battle on the simple basis of their race, socioeconomic status, and the color of their skin. And of course, I will always be dedicated to using my platform, counsel, knowledge, and experience to support you. So if you have any questions or you see content that you want to learn about but you're not seeing reflected in my channel, you could always let me know in the comment section below or via DM or email. My inbox will always be open. I'd love to chat with and support you in any way I possibly can. As for the purpose of this video, today I'm going to be going over very quickly some resources that you, whether or not you're a person of color, whether or not you're Black, brown, yellow, or white, it doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. If you're curious about learning more, I've included some resources and I'll also walk you through some of those resources right now. The first of these resources is a great article by Time Out, whose link I will also include in my pinned comment and in the description below. But basically the article talks about how to support Black Lives Matter no matter who you are. Number one is donating to causes that need funding. So obviously we've probably seen all over our social media posts about, Black Visions Collective, the Minnesota Freedom Fund. But, let's say that, you don't have that money. You don't have the ability, the privilege to donate disposable spare income to these groups. And that's more than okay too. You might have also seen this on social media, but there are amazing resources available that you could give to, that you could donate without donating a single cent. What do I mean by this? Well, this one YouTuber called Zoe Amira published a video on her YouTube about how we could donate to Black Lives Matter movements and causes by just simply watching a video. Basically, by watching this video, you're actually able to generate AdSense revenue for Black creators for Zoe Amira that will go straight into the pockets of not only Black people, but also these Black groups that desperately need money, donations, and financial support. But up next, you could actually show up at a protest. Now, obviously, this might be a little tough because you may fear for your safety, you may have family to take care of, you may have a daughter or a son. For many reasons, both strategic or personal, you may not want to show up at a protest, and it's not my job to judge. But that being said, what you can do is support, activists who are. You could sign petitions, condemning the killing of George Floyd and so many other Black men, women, even children. You could also sign petitions trying to restrict the mobility and the firepower of police. I've included those links below, especially if you're in the Bay Area. Fourth, you could show solidarity on social media. So obviously, I think, most of us millennials and Gen Zs are doing an amazing job. Literally, my feed is just peppered by Black Lives Matter, and it's awesome. But, make sure to prioritize Black people's voices and not speak over anyone. Hopefully, I'm not doing that myself right now. Really, my intent is to amplify these voices, to provide access to these kinds of resources, especially for, the professional white-collar community. And for students who really value recruiting, but also value equality and equity, and we don't want to compromise our values, even if we sell our soul to the corporate devil. Fifth, you could get clued up on the anti-racist struggle. Chances are you are already very literate and very savvy on these kinds of matters. But if you'd like to read more, I've included some links to the New York Times articles, to literature, to black feminist literature. So these range from, like 5-minute reads to like 2-hour odysseys if you want to look more into critical theory and if you want to look more into history and literature. Sixth is supporting Black creators and business owners. So I think this is really important because there are a lot of small businesses that have suffered from the wake of COVID-19. There are great resources, as you can see in this Time Out article, but I've also included a link to Black-owned small businesses in the Bay Area for a Google spreadsheet that basically details dozens and dozens, if not hundreds of small Black-owned businesses. So if you have the chance, and if you're in the Bay Area especially, check out these businesses, order takeout, support small business, and especially support, people of color and Black-owned small business. Finally, keep listening and learning. So obviously, this is something I need to get a lot better at. I need to be able to listen better. I need to be able to, shut up sometimes and just let other people talking. You may have noticed that I love talking. I literally cannot stop talking. So sometimes it's best to just shut up, to listen, and to empathize and understand. This is coming from someone who used to be an All Lives Matter kind of douchebag back in the day, back in 2014, with the Ferguson riots. And honestly, these past 4-6 years have been incredibly revolutionary for me. Going to college, actually interacting with, more people, especially, Black people, Latinx people, Indigenous peoples, has really changed my worldview. And I honestly think that's so, so important. When you're able to actually talk with these groups, and when you're able to have an honest, genuine, candid discussion, that's when you actually build solidarity. And that's when you could have people fight for each other as hard as they fight for their own tribe, for their own people. Because honestly, that's what we need to move towards. And it's been a painful, bitter, long struggle, but it's sorely needed. With that being said, I hope this video kind of encapsulates how, small individuals like us can help the cause. And whether you have money or you don't, whether you're the kind of guy that claims he has that one Black friend, or you actually really want to get to know the community better, reach out to your Black friends, to your Black brothers and sisters, give them a hug. Well, maybe in the era of social distancing, and given the current situation, maybe that won't be possible. But, give them a virtual hug. Let them know that they're loved. Let them know that they're cared for. Listen to them. Empathize with them. Donate to Black businesses. Read up on this literature. And honestly, there are probably so many things I have missed that I've forgotten in this video. Because honestly, these kinds of issues are so tough, and it's so heartbreaking, and it could be impossible and it could be exhausting to wrap our heads around this. But I'm imploring you, if you're in a position to support others, if you're in a position to listen, to learn, and to love, please take that on. Because for too long, people have taken the easy way out and have ignored these kinds of issues. I've ignored these kinds of issues, and I'm not going to make that mistake ever again. Thank you so much, and stay tuned for the next episode. Stay healthy and stay happy. And again, it doesn't need to be said, but I'll say it now. I'll say it in the future. This has been true now, and it will be true always, and it should always have been true.